Happy, beautiful day, everyone. This is Jen with the Best Life Creation Society, and I'm so delighted to be joining you on this most wonderful day. And it has been a really magnificent day here in Best Life. We've had beautiful workshops in English and Norwegian, excellent classes, Facebook Lives. Oh, just so many beautiful things. And I hope your day has been filled with things that make your heart sing. I hope you're taking notice of those things that are delighting you and fulfilling you. And this brings about the reason for the topic that I'm sharing today. Why appreciation? So I wanted to share from this book, Ask and It Is Given, Learning to Manifest Your Desires by Esther and Jerry Hicks. And this book is really a treasure. I've shared with you many times from my favorite book, right? Getting into the Vortex. And it's hard to really choose favorites, especially from these particular authors, Esther and Jerry Hicks. But if I had to pick my second favorite book, yeah, this is the one. So magnificent. And I wanted to share an expansion on appreciation. And just to give a little more clarity with this, I encourage you to not only think appreciation, but also to write appreciation. And there is a specific process to this where you would get a notebook and you would title it or call it your book of positive aspects. And this is where you'd be writing your appreciation. So I wanted to give that little expansion because the title of this section that I'm going to read is titled Abraham, Speak to Us More About the Book of Positive Aspects. Right? So this is the book where you're writing your appreciation. So this is such a delightful story. So it says, imagine a beautiful city. Not a big city, but a perfect city. The traffic flows nicely. There are beautiful points of interest. Living and working in this city is a wonderful experience. As you think about this city, as we have described it to you, you may be thinking, I could live there happily ever after. Oh, but there's one little thing we forgot to mention. There's a very deep pothole on 6th Avenue. Now, if you were to focus on the positive aspects of the city, it is our expectation that if you were to live in this city, you would live happily ever after. Most people have not been introduced to their life by someone who was pointing out the positive aspects of it. Instead, most have been introduced more often by someone saying, watch out for that pothole on 6th Avenue. And so, because of the negative orientation that surrounds them, most are consumed by the pothole. Let us say that someone has been declared terminally ill. Her doctor has given her a death sentence. And yet, the majority of her body, over 99% of it, is as this magical city. It is functioning well. All the arteries of traffic are working very well. It is just that because of the attention the doctor has given it, she is now giving her full attention to the pothole until it will eventually consume her city. Yeah, right? Isn't that a beautiful awareness to have for yourself? And this is why, we share so frequently about focusing on the things that feel good to you, focusing on the things that you can appreciate, right? And we are surrounded by so many things to appreciate. So I wanted to read this next section too, because it really adds to the story that I just shared about. So it says, remove your attention from the city's potholes. As I focus upon what I want, I feel good. If I focus upon lack of what I want, I feel bad. So let us take it a little further. Can you focus upon more than one thing at a time? You cannot. Can you feel more than one way at a time? Can you feel good and bad at the same time? You cannot. And so it is not logical, for it certainly falls within the guidelines of the law of attraction, that if you are focusing upon what you do want, you cannot at the same time be focused upon what you do not want. And if when you focus upon what you want, you will feel good, and if when you feel good, you would be in the positive mode of attraction, then would not your most important work be to look for the positive aspects of all things? To look for the parts of all things that are uplifting to you, and to get your attention off of the so called potholes? Sometimes, when first learning about deliberate creation, our physical friends will worry. They are afraid that every negative thought they think is going to reach out into the cosmos and bring some monster into their experience. We want to ease your fear by reminding you that you are living the balance of your thought. So it requires quite a bit of thought about something before it will manifest into your experience. But as a people who have lived in a society that is predominantly oriented towards criticism and to what is wrong, always wanting to face the facts, you have become those, even in your individual thoughts, who predominantly worry rather than predominantly know that all is well. We want to encourage you to give more of your attention to what makes you feel good. Not something so radical that you must control every thought. Just make a decision that you will look for what you do want to see. It is not a difficult decision to make, but it can make a big difference in what you bring into your experience. Yeah, right? And this is the most important piece, to make that decision within yourself. Decide for yourself that you desire to feel good. And in the process of doing that, decide to find things to appreciate more of the time. And don't be so concerned, right? We do live in a society with many negative orientations, right? Things that tell us to focus on the problem, to look at what's wrong. It's kind of all around us. So it's okay that you have an awareness of that. But you don't have to give the predominance of your focus to that. There is a goodness in having the awareness of what is unwanted, as long as it's brief, right? As long as it's a little bit. Because step one, that knowing what you don't want, is important. Because the broader aspect of you knows what you do want. So when you observe something that you don't want, like the pothole, or an illness in your body, or a shortfall in your bank account, or something not preferred in a relationship, or whatever it is, when you notice that, just take note of it, acknowledge it, and then shift your focus to things that feel better to you. Let your feelings guide you. And in that process of shifting to better feelings, make that decision to find things to appreciate. Yeah, make it easy. You don't have to have elaborate, extensive things to appreciate, right? As I'm sitting here right now, I can say I so appreciate the technology that allows me to share my message with you. I so appreciate this beautiful book that had these words so wonderfully written. I appreciate my ability to read them and to share them with you. I appreciate the authors of this book, Esther and Jerry Hicks, and I appreciate all that they share. I appreciate Abraham who is the perspective of non-physical. How magnificent to have a perspective of non-physical to help to guide us to our own internal guidance. I appreciate that I have an internal guidance system that is always calling me forward to my desires. And I appreciate my emotions, my beautiful feelings that are letting me know that when I feel good, I'm on the right track. And when I feel something other than good, something not so good, well, I know that I can acknowledge that. And because I'm so free, oh, and I appreciate my freedom so much, I can freely shift my focus to something that feels better. Yeah, it's here for all of us. It does take a deliberateness. It takes you choosing to have more awareness of the things that are right in your life, the things that you have that you can and will appreciate, and allowing those beautiful vibrations to expand. Give more of your attention to what feels good. And know with certainty that it's good to feel good. There's not a price to pay for happiness. Happiness brings more happiness. And it's my desire that you have all the happiness and all the love and all the joy and all that your heart desires always.